over 1.5 million engineering and technology students graduate, enter the workforce in India. But unfortunately, less than half of these students are seen as truly industry ready by the leading employers. The Indian IT industry, which is growing, going to be close to $350 billion by 2026, which is just around the corner, uh, and the technology changes which we are seeing, AI, cloud, automation. These are the skills of today, and 60% of the new IT jobs require it today. The challenge is not that there's a lack of talent, but the alignment between campus learning and workplace realities. At Regenesis, we believe this is the moment for bold collaborations between academia, industry, and innovators like us. Today's discussion is about possibilities. Possibilities. How do we bridge the readiness gap at scale? Um, what practical strategies are organizations using to unlock the potential of freshers, and how we can, as a community, turn this demographic dividend into a true global leadership for India. So thank you all for being there today. This event brings together some of the top minds in HR and L&D and digital skilling who are actively shaping the early talent experience in their organization. Thank you all for joining us. Let me introduce our panelists. We have Kashish Kapoor, Vice President HR at NEC Corporation India. Kashish brings a global perspective to structured onboarding and cultural alignment. Rohin Kumar Radhakrishnan, he is the Director and Global Head for Talent Development at Epsom. Rohin specializes in building agile skilling frameworks and long-term fresher development paths. Shravan Medapati, Director, Learning Lead at uh, Capgemini DCX Academy. He leads the academy-driven learning journeys that fast-track fresher productivity. Mary Matthew, uh, Group Manager, HR Leadership Development at UST. Welcome, Mary. Mary focuses on shaping leadership mindsets and behavioral readiness from day one. We have Amrita Chaudhary. She heads corporate HR strategy and digital HR at Prodab. Amrita drives domain specific talent strategies and digital HR transformation for early career talent. Welcome, Amrita. We have Harsha Rao. Harsha is the director for AI strategies and consulting and also the head of Regen AI Foundry at Regenesis. Harsha is a pioneer in AI first workforce transformation and onboarding innovation. Welcome to you, Harsha. So let me just dive into the panel discussion, and the first question is to Kashish. Kashish, at NEC, how do you structure your fresher onboarding into align them with both global workforce standards and evolving IT landscape, which itself is quite a challenge? And are there unique cultural or process-based practices you follow that stands out? Being a Japanese organization, we wanted your perspective on that.
So thank you so much for having me here. I think great topic and really happy to be here and lovely good day and good evening, good afternoon to all my co-panelists. So yes, see, I think the whole space around the hiring of the campus of freshers from campus has also undergone a huge amount of transformation in the last couple of years, um, and mostly post COVID, with a lot of things thrown in terms of attributes that we look at while hiring. So definitely there is the tech strain and DNA that needs to be very robust and strong. The leaning towards innovation that needs to be extremely sharp and agile. But I think in addition to this, what becomes an attribute that we seek out is more resilience. A very strong sense of how they would look and address compliance with not only integrity at its core, but compliances from a process and compliances from the way tech is moving and becoming more agile in the space that we are all coexisting today. So I think some of these things are becoming more and more central and relevant to the way we are hiring from the campus. What we are looking at talent, some of the innovative ways in which we are reaching out and building this our connect with campus and with fresher hiring is also by co-creating the curriculum in partnership with the universities, where we kind of go and integrate the uh, with the batch in earlier semesters to give them a peek into what NEC is as an organization. Where are we looking at innovation? How are we driving our strategies towards solutioning for products and solutions for clients? Where is it that we are focusing on? Which are the tech streams that we are really focusing on, and why and where are we looking at from a strategy towards the new emerging technologies? And that's where that engagement begins, to then selecting a then defining drafting the curriculum around some of this, bringing the talent on board, to through an assessment into a batch that gets that kind of runs through this curriculum, because we feel that then the productivity and the alignment to the organization is much higher than picking up somebody who's fresh and not very familiar, and also will need some time to scale up in terms of what we are looking from a technical standpoint to driving the productivity. So I think the cohesiveness of the talent to the organization we've seen is much higher. And then once they've gone through the rigor of this curriculum, we also bring in connects with the organization, where we bring them into office. They meet, interact with leadership teams, with business leaders, with technocrats, and that builds a familiarity for them towards the organization. For us, we are able to tap into a lot of voices that we hear, which help us build the employee experience and the engagement of this echelon. We do understand and recognize that this is a very different, so it's the Gen Z, or now it is the Gen Alpha, and it's getting, the engagement is getting to be more and more customized and unique for them. And I think all of this whole platform just gives us the exposure to their voices, and how is it that we connect better with them. So I think that's how we are looking at this space so far.
Yeah, Kashish, interesting answer. What I liked is in the world of AI and technology, you started off with resilience, integrity at the core of hiring talent, right? So
Totally.
it's so true and good to hear that even while we are talking about technology or talking about going to Mars, there are some things which never changes, like resilience, integrity, and which I feel that takes you much far ahead than technology. Also, I love the fact that you were talking about co-creating the curriculum, and how you are not just blaming a setup, but being there and trying to make changes at the ground, uh, to be appreciated. And I like the part where you said coming to office, meeting leaders, right? Again, a non-tech thing for a tech world, right? Coming to office, and how do you hear the voices? There are many voices which are unheard, and it is so good that there is somebody is hearing those voices, somebody who is trying to connect with them. So good, Kashish. Really good to know that. Thanks for your views, Kashish. Rohin, my next question is to you. Rohin, how do you approach skilling and career pathing for freshers at your company, especially considering how fast the IT landscape is evolving? We were told that a new chat GPT version or the new tool comes every 8 months. Now it is 3 months. So by the time we teach some technology like agile, AI, or DevOps, it is probably a new version has come, or the strategy is changing completely. So Rohin, your views around this?
Thank you, Viju. And I'm going to just build on with what Kashish said, right? So if you have your workforce that's really authentic in what they're doing, the landscape that is there is predominantly out there, right? So it's almost like playing a game of chess where you know the pawns actually emerge midway, right? And that's really the landscape that we're really looking at. And to that, what we do at Apexon is, really use technology to our advantage. And, going by what is happening around, there are a lot of jobs that are now getting, I wouldn't say impacted, but, augmented by the influence of artificial intelligence, machine learning, so on and so forth. Right now, I think what's also important is for us to keep the Gen Alpha and the Gen um, after grounded to the reality that everything cannot be outsourced, right? So artificial still is artificial. You cannot, replace natural competence and natural intelligence and common sense with anything that is technology driven, right? So what we do and what we focus on at Apexon is rather simple methodology. We call it the 3D, approach towards skilling, especially graduates and freshers who are joining in. And what that abbreviates to is we discover, and in that phase, all of us know that the freshers of today come with a lot of understanding of what needs to be, but how do you really marry that with customer requirements, right? How do you really marry that with real world scenarios? So, our skilling is based on what our real challenges are, right? So, our discovery phase gives them an orientation of what needs to be. And then we actually develop them, which is the second B. And this is more around, giving them learning journeys. And everybody is now, hyper personalized, right? So, gone are the days where you have a curricula, you roll it out and say, hey, go, figure this out, or try and grapple with things, learn this by yourself. Yeah, learning by yourself is something that everybody likes these days. But what we've realized is that the more personalized and hyper personalized you are at that level, and if you're able to talk to them, don't tell me what I will do 6 months down the lane. Tell me what I'm supposed to do today, what I'm supposed to do right now, right? So how do you really make just-in-time learning fruitful for them? At the same time, have coaches and mentors who are, slightly more experienced, who come and tell you that, hey, you know what? So while you come with X amount of knowledge from your academy or academia, this is how we kind of get you used to the run of the mill, right? So the coaching and mentoring.
So I think Rohin will join us back, but then very interesting, answers. We're talking about natural competency and common sense. That it will take you far. Artificial intelligence is going to not just impact, but it's going to augment the skills that we have. So if you don't have common sense, it's going to augment that also. So the answers are going to be faster, more stupid. So your common sense is something which is very very important, and your natural competency. So we'll get back to Rohin once he comes back. Uh, I have a question to Shravan. Shravan, Capgemini has been well known for academy-based skilling approach, and you have been the pioneers. You are the trendsetters, and probably the industry looks forward to you. So, how do you enable freshers to move from learners to productive contributors quickly? You're muted yourself. Unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, this happens every time. Thanks, Viju. And
Rohin, I'll come back to you. I'll come back. We'll continue. I think Sravan.
okay, so I was a little afraid while Rohan was talking. He's covering all my points over there. So thanks, Rohan. You covered a couple of my points, but still. So again, when we refer to the enablement part of the training or enabling the freshers, it's just not one size fits all kind of a thing. So we go in a multi-pronged approach. Like we see the batch. We first have a structure of that particular batch from a particular college. And then there are various things that we evaluate. When I say evaluate, it is not an assessment that we do. We will be speaking with them. We will see what are their interests and like from what is the background they are coming from. We do a lot of interaction with them just to ensure that uh, they are well accustomed with the people who they are going to work for the rest of 3 months, 4 months. And then we will start with the training part of it. So our training model is more, or I should say 90+% is hands-on now. So we start with a problem statement. We will not tell them what is the technology that they are going to learn. Rather, we start with a problem statement and then we will also explain the reason that is driving that particular problem, and then we get into the technology enablement part. So it would be more like a self study, as Ronan had mentioned over here. It would be more of a self study model, and then we will ensure that whatever the theoretical concepts that were being learned by them, they will be mapped to the real world consequences, and then the SMEs would help them to build the situational awareness between the theory and the technology part that they are learning much earlier. And then we also make sure that these people start working on the problem statement that we have given. And these problem statements are just not case studies that we pick up. These are the problem statements that have been curated by my SMEs from various projects. Though we cannot directly pick the idea of the project, we use that scenario as a basis to develop a concept, and then we will ask these YPs to ensure they complete these projects in time, so that this will develop a kind of a confidence. They feel that their work, whatever they are working, will matter to the company. And the best thing that they get is like every month, like once the entire project is completed. When I say the project, it's the case study or the use case that they complete. We set up something known as a a demo day, where the freshers will be presenting their use case to the SMEs, and we will judge the top 3 performers in that, and the top 3 will get a chance to demo what they have done to the top leadership. When I say top leadership, it would be at an EVP level, who is leading the entire 7,500 strong team in India. So it is the EVPs, the VP, senior directors, and the directors. The entire extended leadership team will be there in that meeting, and the YPs will be presenting that work that they have done. And once their formal training is over, but still they are in training. So we work on a buddy system. Most of the organizations take it, and we are no different in that. So we have something like a pair programming is what we call it. So we assign one young professional to a developer, and the developer and the young professional will be working on the same task. And then it is the responsibility of the SME or the developer who is paired with this young professional to make sure that the young professional is getting skilled up to the level where he can be independently given where he can be independently given a option to work on the project. And then also while we are running these things, we ensure that we have a weekly stand-up call and we ensure that we take the feedback. It is a bi-directional feedback. It's a feedback on the young professional by the developer, and it's a reverse feedback where the developer gets his feedback from the young professional, where the developer can understand if he is doing something that is not really being helpful to the young professional, or if young professional is not doing something that is appropriate in terms of the project related things, then young professional will know it. So there are no hard feelings. It ensures that everybody are vocal about the thing, and we ensure that they are all working for Capgemini. They are not all working for themselves. There's nothing in when you say that this is not really working good or something. And we bring up an environment which is very cordial in that. And the next thing that we are like, not every young professional is lucky to get into the project or get into a buddy immediately after their training. So at least there will be a gap of 4 to 6 weeks. So during this 6 weeks, we have something called as an academy playground, where we will ask them to do whatever they want on the technology they have learned, and we will ask them to do something, and we encourage them to fail. We don't really ask them to be successful over there. We encourage them to be fail. And then once they fail, we will ask them to analyze the reason for their failure, and then start working backwards where they have done a mistake, and then ensure that they do it in a proper manner. And the experience that I have is that those who are there in this academy playground, where they weren't able to perform, where they failed in the first couple of instances, are the top raters while they're in projects. So that is one thing that we have observed. And then the last thing that we do is we celebrate. So Capgemini has got 7 values, and fun is one value of that. So we ensure that we don't miss that value of Capgemini, where we celebrate every win. And especially if someone fails, we will even celebrate that, because failure is a stepping stone for the next success. So we even celebrate it much bigger if a person fails and then gets into the next level. So that's what we do. And we ensure that the freshers are not shielded from the complexity. And we ensure that we give them the right scaffolding or the right support to climb onto that particular complexity level, with the help of the work that we give them during the training, with the help of the mentorship and the psychological thing. So first thing that we try to do is we remove the fear from there, that even if they fail, no issues on it. They still have a chance to contribute meaningfully, and they can definitely win that. So that fear is going to be removed from the young professionals. So that's it.
Should we clap for you? Is my question. So it was like a masterclass, absolutely brilliant. We have been in the industry for quite long, and I love when people are so structured and companies are so structured. You know, students not just join companies; they join dreams, aspirations, and many of these companies don't provide that, where the dreams are shattered, and we are, many of us have been part of that, where we learned our first experience was not really that good. Probably you're doing something beyond what you're doing. I really appreciate you for that. There are a lot of things which I really found interesting. One is the structured onboarding. self-study. I think that's the key to any success. I think most of us here are taught, by self, and we didn't have all those luxuries. We learned, we built ourselves. Then mapping of learning to real-world realities. That's again, many times we are learning and we are not mapping the learning to the real world. So that's something very interesting. I love more than the project demo days. I really love the academy playground. I think that just got my attention and do whatever they want. And just what a promise to start off, right? Do whatever you want. I think that has all the settings to fail, right? When you have all what you have, that's like a rich kid getting a lot of money and you ask them do whatever you want, he's definitely going to fail, right? And encourage them to fail and then them to analyze their own failures and then to come back and to celebrate. I think most of us take our jobs very seriously, and we really think that we're doing something great. I think a fun element is completely missed. So, Shravan, I think fantastic what you and your team and the company is doing, and this is something which we all inspires us to learn. And thanks. Probably it's a setup for a longer master class. Rohin, I'll just quickly back to you. I would love you to finish where you what you were talking. Rohin, if you can just conclude what you were talking.
Sure. I this
Rohin, your voice is cracking. Your voice
almost
is
like
cracking.
we had a similar script and we were reading off, pages there. But the only thing that I'd like to add is, I mean, I think it's gratifying to also see that organization.
Yeah, I think Rohin, we are not able to hear what you are
Allow
saying.
me a minute. I guess you may want to move on, and I'll come back.
Yes. Yes, we'll do that. Coming to Harsha, as the head of Region AI Foundry, you are closely working at the intersection of AI adoption and workflows transformation. From your lens, how should institutes and enterprise rethink fresher onboarding and training so that they are not just job ready, but AI fluent and future fit from day one?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for that question. It's quite an interesting one. So let me take a moment to talk about how we are using Region AI Foundry and approaching AI skilling for freshers. We are thinking of, we are adapting and also come from the mindset that freshers, they just not are there to be taught and to reskill themselves, but how to use the tools, right? How to think like someone who's creating with AI. So that's what we come with the mindset, and we also percolate that mindset with the students or the learners. In most cases, what happens is that when it comes to AI skilling is treated like as if we are learning to drive a car. Like you're taught how to press the buttons or move the gear or turn the wheel, etc. But at Region AI, we believe that just driving isn't enough. You should understand actually why the engine works under the hood, right? What's under the hood and how to fix, or even sometimes redesign the car. You may want to change certain parts and redesign the car in order to drive it, right? So that's what we aim at. That's why our programs are built around what we call as AI thinking. That means problem solving and bringing in creativity, ethical awareness, etc. Ethical awareness is very, very important in the AI first world. So this is the difference between using AI and thinking with AI, and that's the shift we are trying to bring about in our skilling programs. At Region AI, which of course is kind of gelling with or rhyming with generative AI. So that's what we are bringing to the table, right? The Region AI Foundry. We actually design learning not around the tools, but around the mindsets, I should say. We teach freshers to approach AI like something like a collaborator, not just like a black box, right? So where you don't know what's inside the black box, etc. It starts with asking simple but very, very powerful questions like what problem am I solving? Who does it help? What role can I play? And what are the limitations? So thinking of the positives as well as the negatives is also very, very important here. So we don't start with let's say in case of ChatGPT, we don't start with hey, how to use ChatGPT. We start with what is the challenge with you or with your community, or what are the difficulties that you're facing the most in terms of maybe learning, maybe skilling yourself, or trying to solve any problem. So we actually take it from there. We ask them what is the challenge, what is that is bugging you the most, etc. And then we ask them to build on top of it from there, basically. Let me give you one example. One of our fresher batches recently worked on a challenge to help students with learning disabilities understand complex subjects better. They didn't just build an AI summary tool, they created a conversational explainer in regional languages with illustrations generated using, of course, generative AI. Right? So that's very, very powerful tool to use. Which adapted its tone based on the learner's age. Now that's AI thinking. That's empathy combined with innovation and combined with your AI fluency. And what's beautiful? These freshers weren't they were not AI experts, but they were curious, guided right, and empowered to think creatively with AI. That's what institutions and companies need to start doing early, and of course, very, very consistently. In today's world, knowing how to prompt an AI is definitely useful, but knowing how to solve problems with AI, that's what will future proof careers of the students and transform them to adapt to the industries. That's what we do at the Region AI Foundry, and we believe every student deserves to feel that power, get that power out of the AI, and not feel powerless. When it comes to AI, they should feel that power. I can also bring in. I can think of another real world example. Where we were dabbling and we were also privy to it. Imagine like we are a fresher in our program and you are given a simple challenge like build something that can help a farmer reduce crop waste. So we are touching something which is very, very current and which is very, very apt in these days, right? Instead of jumping straight into the coding or asking ChatGPT, we will guide the students to ask right questions, like they have to start from the basics. What is known as the basics first. All right. So we will teach them to ask questions like, why does the crop waste happen in the first place? What's the role of the weather? Is it playing spoil sport? What is the role of the storage? So is it also playing a spoil sport? So many things might be playing a spoil sport here for the crop waste to happen, right? Or are the pricing correct? So such basic questions will be, kind of taught to be asked by the students, and then take AI help to predict it. Use this data to predict it. Use this data to analyze, etc., etc., and then use the AI to come out with some simple suggestions or simple solutions that can be implemented on the ground. If it suggests very complex, where is the funding for that? Where is the money for that? We're talking of farmers here, so it should be very simple, cost effective, and should be able to be implemented extremely fast. All right. So hence, then we introduce the right AI tools to help the students here. Now you're not just using them blindly, but you're also using them like a chef, using ingredients to cook a unique dish, not just heating a ready meal. Right? So students actually create real solutions, like mobile app that uses a language model to talk to farmers in local dialects and give personalized advice using AI. And here's the magic: they don't even realize they are building real AI systems because we are bringing in real world problems to them. So eventually they'll discover that they're building real AI systems because it feels so natural that they'll forget that that they're solving some real world problem. They're solving a problem that really matters, and that's how real AI skilling should be felt like. Should happen in this manner, meaningfully, usefully, and very inspirationally. Right? Yeah. So
So
that's
thanks,
how we
thanks.
go.
I understand that just taking a clue from what you just said, that cooking and what you're cooking at Region AI Foundry. If I have to just summarize, I would say ingredients are a little bit of AI mindset, top it up with AI fluency, a little sprinkle of empathy, and a little curiosity and some ethics in it, right? So that's the dish you're cooking at AI Foundry, right? So thanks, Asha. Thanks for your inputs. Mary, how does UST instill leadership and behavioral readiness in freshers from the beginning? And are there any initiatives that preparing them beyond coding? Because IT boot camps are mostly, tech boot camps. So I would love to know your insights.
Thank you, Viju. It was really good to hear from the rest of the panelists. So at UST, we believe that leadership and behavioral readiness has to be instilled from the time we onboard people. And we have a program in place where we invest in these areas so that people can collaborate, communicate, and adapt from day one. And the first piece of how we do it is we help them transition into a culture, and our culture is very values based. We have three core values: humility, humanity, and integrity. And these are at the base of everything that we do at UST. So we help them, transition into that culture. We lead by teaching them what the values are, and we follow a model which is the 4L model, which is learn the value, love the values, live the values, and lead the values. And when they come in, through the process of onboarding or induction, we help them really practice the values. And also by the end of it, at least if they are not able to, lead the values, at least they are able to, do the first three steps, which is learn, love, and live. So that's how we start with. And from there, of course, we have a very structured onboarding program around behavioral and leadership competencies. This is built in along with our technical bootcamp. So we don't do this separately from each other because we think that they can cross leverage whatever they learn in the technical bootcamp as well. So we have about 20 hours that we invest across about 4 to 5 weeks. Some of the areas that we cover are the basics of communication essentials like written communication, verbal listening, and we have realized over a period of time that no matter how much you learn in the university, when you come into the corporate world, the style of communication changes slightly, and people are not really geared up for that. Nobody really teaches them that. So what happens is there's this anxiety or panic mode that sets in, and when you're asked to make project presentations or technical demos or any of that, that's part of the onboarding process. A lot of people hold back because they feel that they don't have the right communication skills. So that's something that we built into the program to give them the confidence that you can do it. And through that process that we go through within our onboarding program, we make sure they at least learn the essentials and they are able to present their thoughts in a clear manner. So that's the first piece of what we cover. The second piece to what we cover is around personal productivity and professionalism. This is around time and task management, workplace professionalism, ownership, and accountability. Because again, these are skills that somebody who's new to the workplace may not be very familiar with, right? And these are skills which are extremely important for their success, especially when they get into projects. And for us, whatever time that we have for onboarding, after that we don't get a lot of time to invest in such programs with them, because obviously there's a requirement. That's why we are hiring them, and there's a time period by when the accounts or the business needs them onboarded. So we use this time to make sure that people have these skills developed. The other area that we focus on is team collaboration, because for us, a lot of work happens through collaboration. So these are all individual contributors. It works best when they work together. So they are supposed to work not only within their teams, but across teams also. And we bring in that element of how you collaborate, how you work together. Current generation, I must say that we don't have a lot of challenge in this area, because they are pretty good with this aspect of it. So we don't spend a whole lot of time on that, but we just kind of nurture them and push them in the right direction. So that's the third area that we focus on. And the last and final area that we focus on is around self-awareness and emotional intelligence. And again, self-awareness, because I need to know where I am at to grow, right? And this is from the perspective of self-development. It is not so much of, you are at this level or somebody else is at this level. It's more around, knowing where I am at and how do I really traverse the journey. And when we talk about emotional intelligence, the pieces that we focus on are around empathy and social awareness and relationship management. Because for us at USD, we really put a lot of value on relationships, and we actually jokingly say this across the organization that more than processes, it is relationship that makes work happen. So for us, because the environment, the culture is like that, it is extremely important for us to orient the new hires in this direction. Because if you're not orienting them in the right direction, then we are setting them up for failure, right? So though they can learn from failure, we want to also set them up with the right set of skills, so that when they get into the business, they are ready from the word go. Other than these structured programs, we also do other things like we assign a buddy, where there is informal weekly buddy meetings that happen. And buddies are interestingly in our context not just people who will help you navigate through the system, but also people who will coach. And these are generally the way we do buddy pairing is generally we do it with someone who's not a lot more in terms of experience than the person who is joining, because we want the person who is joining to be comfortable with the buddy. And the buddy coaches or soft coaches the new hire, or the person who's just joined from campus in various areas like meeting etiquette. Right? We can teach as much meeting etiquette that we want in a classroom, but when it actually gets to on the ground, people don't even respond to meeting invites. There's something very, very basic, and this is not no matter how much I tell them in the class, it's what you do when you get on the ground there. So buddies coach them through things like this, meeting etiquettes. Then the other area that buddies coach them on is asking questions. And when I say asking questions, is putting your hand up, and there is nothing wrong with putting your hand up and asking that question. That's also one of the areas that we've seen challenges with, that people, especially freshers, are reluctant to ask questions. And we encourage a culture of asking questions, and no matter what you want to ask, please go ahead, ask. And we have these CEO town halls where the CEO is there on the bay or on the floor, and not like in a room, but on the floor where people are sitting, and he talks about plans for the future, etc. And the reason he does that is he wants to hear from the people who are freshers or at the delivery side or at the developer side. And most of the times freshers don't ask anything, because they are possibly there's this fear or whatever that holds them back. So one of the things that the buddies do is help them, coach them to ask questions, and ask questions with clarity, so that they can get rid of this fear of theirs. Another area is around navigating ambiguity. And there's a lot of ambiguity that happens when people newly join, right? No matter how much I coach them, how much I train them, when they get on the floor, there is a level of ambiguity. So how do you navigate that ambiguity, which may be very peculiar to that business, or it may be peculiar to the location? It could be peculiar to any aspect of that. So how do you really navigate that ambiguity? That is something that buddies coach them through. And then, of course, developing cross-functional relationships. That's also one area that buddies coach them through. Another thing that we do is we do 30-minute leadership talks in between the program where we get early achievers. So these are essentially people who have joined as freshers and have grown in the organization. So their journey lines or their stories. So that's more the inspirational, motivational value that comes in there. So people feel motivated to really try on and go ahead. So that's something that we do. So we do a few of that within their training period. The other things are in terms of we encourage them to reflect. We encourage them to journal, to say what is it that I've learned, what else do I want to learn, where do I want to reach. So my career aspirations, that's a common topic that we ask them to think about. You're really new in the system, but still you would have some career aspirations. So what is that, and how do you think you're going to achieve that at UST based on whatever you know? And if they have questions around the area, they can, of course, get back with their buddies and they can discuss it. And these are few things that we do. And of course, there are micro certifications that are there, and badges, etc. that we do. We also help them, showcase their skills in terms of presenting to senior level audiences, and we also run contests and rewards around that. So this is at a very, very broad level what we do. But what we found is through all of this activity, we are really able to help them, with a few areas, right? Like communicating clearly in team and professional settings, showing initiative, asking for help, acting with ownership, or understanding how your behavior impacts the delivery and culture. The fact that you are a UST ambassador, once you join, you have to become a UST ambassador, and everything that you do, how it impacts the organization, how it impacts your team, how it impacts you, and how it impacts that professional that you are showcasing yourself to be. So these are a few areas that we really focus on, and we have seen considerable success with following this kind of structure.
Thanks, Mary. Very interesting. A lot of insights, culture, as you said. I was just remembering the famous quote that culture eats strategy for breakfast. And with you just saying all these things, I feel culture does eat AI or technology for brunch. So it eats everything if culture is not set right. And I was just putting some equations, and the equations are very interesting. Productivity plus ownership plus accountability, right? You can't have productivity without accountability, right? So another one which you said was collaboration plus relationship management. You can't have collaboration without relationship management, right? Self-awareness plus asking questions. You can't be self-aware if you don't ask questions, right? So very interesting. Thanks, Mary. Thanks for your inputs. Amrita, sorry for keeping you, wait for this long. Amrita product operates in a niche vertical. So how do you prepare freshers to be domain ready and client facing early in their careers? And anything special that you're doing? How do you and you're multi-country operation. So how do you go about it?
Yeah, sure. And thank you so much for having me. And as I was listening through the responses, I was wondering my responses are getting shortened because most of the points are getting covered, and a lot of things what Ropin and Shravan and Mary spoke about, we also do some of the same things. So I would like to divide my response into three parts. First of all, talk a little bit about what we do at Prodap. and what we are known for, and then talk about some of the challenges we face when we hire campus graduates from various colleges, and then talk about the onboarding and training program. So, Prodap is one of the largest specialized player in the connectiveness industry. So, as a AI first strategic technology partner and a company which serves telecom companies and the tech companies of the world, so we work with various companies to build networks of tomorrow and also digital experiences of tomorrow. And for everything, whatever we do, AI plays a very important role for us. So keeping that background in mind and telecom and AI being our bread and butter, when we go to the various institutes and universities to hire, we see a lot of gap. Though the assessment process has basic coding assessment, and then we have different kinds of offers based on the assessment score that the candidates get. But then there is a lot of gap in their coding knowledge. Fundamentals aren't right. When we interview them, often we see that the problem-solving skills are missing. They are not able to articulate it right. So overall, there is a lot of gap, and hence a solid campus to corporate bridge program is necessary. So, keeping that in mind, 2 years back, we completely revamped the process of how we onboard and how we train these freshers, how we handle them, and also do not leave them after 3 or 4 months of training. How can we have a holistic process to monitor them for a year's time? So, keeping that in mind, we have currently built a
Amrita, I think Amrita is. I think it's she's lost the connection. She should be back. Rohin,
on the code technology.
oh, yes, yes.
There is a
Amrita, we are you're dropping out. So
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Now it's okay. That's fine.
Is it better? Okay, I don't know where I had lost you. Maybe yeah.
Last 3 lines, I guess.
Yeah. So, irrespective of the technology, core technology on which they are being trained, maybe I'll turn off my video just to ensure it doesn't create pressure on the bandwidth. Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yep, yep.
Okay, all right. So there is a common curriculum, and then there is a lot of focus on domain training and on AI. So some of the things which Harsha touched upon, these are the things we are also doing. And telecom domain training is also extremely important. We have labs available internally. We have an assessment-based model. So a specialized team of subject matter experts from business teams. With them, we design the tech curriculum and the specific duration for each topic. There are post assessments which are being created. There are various interesting projects which we also create with the co-create with the subject matter experts, and then during the course of the training, the subject matter experts also visit them. They work on the project along with them, so there is a lot of collaboration happening, and they are not far away from the business. There is group assignment, there is feedback sharing sessions also on the training curriculum, so that we can constantly course correct and edit the and make changes in the training curriculum based on the feedback received. One of the things what stands out beyond the tech and the domain training is also the soft skills training program, because as I was telling you, we always see a lot of gap between campus to corporate, and especially in terms of communication skills. And we have a very comprehensive soft skills training program, and that lasts for months, even after they complete the technical training and they are deployed to the various projects. The soft skills training program focuses on five core skills, and these skills are extremely important. As Mary was also saying, some of the same skills which would help any fresher to give the best in their current projects. So the training is focused on adaptability and then there's a lot of focus on communication, how they articulate right, how they articulate effectively, their verbal and written skills, how they listen actively, how they empathize, right? That's also extremely important. Then the problem solving skills, because often we see a lot of gap in problem solving. When you throw a problem to them, they do not know how to put a structure to it and solve the problem. So specific focus is given on problem solving skills. Then we also train them on professionalism, because we have to make them client ready. And finally, learning agility. Learning agility, I think it's not only for our company, it is across, because they constantly have to upskill themselves. They constantly have to learn new things. Um, are you with me, or are you able to hear
Yes,
me?
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Just wanted to check on the internet bandwidth as well. So we put a lot of effort on the soft skills training program also, which focuses on these 5 competencies, because the objective is not only to bridge the communication gap, but also how do we build tiny habits, tiny grids in them. Persistence is one of our values. How do we build persistence in them? Because there's a lot of ambiguity. We are all aware about that. But if you are persistent, if you are dedicated, then you would be able to achieve the results. Small things like Mary was also saying, journaling, daily journaling, learning habits every week, a new habit, practicing that, and then reporting it out. These are some of the things which we build, and we focus a lot on these things, and we make it very interesting, because we the entire structure, the entire set of modules that is being taught through. We kind of do a league-based gaming challenge, and the participants are divided into various pods, groups of 6, and they are engaged in a Premier League style gaming challenge, like we call it Prodap Premier League. And then it focuses on their domain, it focuses on soft skills, and then there are a lot of quests, there are challenges, there are leaderboards, so that they can see their performance, and then there is this sense of competition amongst the group. And then every pod, every group has a dedicated mentor also. The mentor plays a very important role in helping them with certain inhibitions. For example, as Mary was also saying, that asking questions, right? We have seen that a lot of people do not ask. In fact, when they are deployed in projects as part of business requirement gathering calls, they do not ask the right questions to the client, and that becomes a challenge later on. Acknowledging emails, that's also a very important skill. So these mentors, the dedicated mentors, also teach them some of these life skills that really helps them to be the best of themselves. And another value of ours is depth. So whatever we do, be it the domain knowledge, and we are known in the industry for our domain knowledge. We are the telecom focused company. We are a telecom focused company, right? Telecom and AI focused company. So domain knowledge is extremely important. But then it is not at surface level. We really believe in depth, and depth being one of our values. The way we design the assessments, the way we design the peer learning, that also ensures that the participants knows the foundation, the fundamentals very well, so that they are able to solve the real world client challenges. So that is how, at a very broad level, our program is being designed with solid focus on domain as well as on communication and soft skills.
Viju, you're on mute.
Yeah, everybody does this mistake every once, right? So, Amrita, thanks. I like this combination where you said that the mix of life skills plus the coding and the tech skills, and then we are talking about depth, which many times lacks. Right, we are at surface on many things, and especially when we are in the college, and probably as we grow in ranks, we all have seen a lot of people around us which lack depth, and to emphasize on depth from the start onboarding is something really good. We have already shot over the time, and I just have one question to all of you. It's like a quick fire round, and one line each on what are the top two things you wish colleges did better before freshers arrive on day one. So I will start with Rohin. Yeah, Rohin.
It seems like my Wi-Fi missed the onboarding session. I hope you're able to hear me better now. Right. So top two things, that are there right now. If I can just take 1 minute because I didn't get, an opportunity to do so. In addition to what was shared, I think what is gratifying to know is that whether the organization is many years old or it's a new player like Apex Sun, I think the focus is absolutely bang on it, right? And our practices are pretty much the same, right? So the two things that that we focus on apart from getting our fresher strategy right is to also ensure there is enough of reverse mentoring that happens, right? Which means that it's not enough if we use new blood. We also need to imbibe what they get into the system, right? So our communities of practice, gains a lot from that's a focus because the number of patents that we filed the last year, almost 80% came from these, and out of the 80%, the ideas that came from the freshers was a whooping 70%, right? So we're trying to harness as much over there and trying to see how best we can, get maximum potential there. And another thing that we're also trying to do is look at leadership potential in some of our freshers, right? So it's not that we are only looking at technologists, we're also looking at future leaders, right? So investing in top potential to key talent, right at this stage itself is something that we're focused on. So these are two areas apart from what we've discussed so far.
Kashish, your answer to this.
So I think what yeah.
That would be a little loud, Kashish.
I think, can you hear me? Is it better now?
Yep.
All right. So I think what colleges should really strengthen more is having more check-ins as a part of the orientations that they do, more support groups and one-on-one, discovery groups where there is more mentorship, there is more guidance, a stronger career pathing and a more coaching kind of environment right from day one, so that there are challenges that there are challenges and scenarios and unfamiliar spaces that these students are grappling with. Having them navigate that and those conversations and those close connects and right from day one can just simplify the whole mess for them, can simplify the complexity, and can help them engage better with themselves. I think that reflective moments through college rather than as an external pressure from day one can go a long way. I think people can be
Thanks, Kashish. Mr. Shravan, we have 4 minutes left.
Yeah, I'll be a little critical over there. No, what I should say, no disrespect intended in anything, but definitely the colleges should enhance their faculty development programs. So I take the old thing, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So until unless you have well-equipped teachers or lecturers or professors or whoever it is who are training these people, they have to be really equipped with what they are supposed to teach. Unfortunately, that is not a situation in 90% of the colleges. There are 10% colleges which are out of this, but 90% doesn't have a good faculty development program at all. And the second thing is they only look at the completion of the course and technology, but there is no emphasis on anything like soft skills. So soft skills is 15-day program where they tell you what is your what is your name, and then tell me about yourself. These are the only two things that they'll be trained as a part of their soft skill development program, which is something that has to change. Those are my two things.
Thanks. Mary?
Sorry, I was not able to unmute. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So two things very clearly for me are structured workplace readiness programs, which is beyond the technical curriculum. Things like basic English, email writing, working in a team. A second area would be professional etiquette to be practiced in the workplace, like public place behavior etiquette, elevator etiquette, meeting etiquette. And these are gaps that we see no matter which college we hire from. These are common gaps that we see. So if the colleges can do something to really have a structured program in place, because these are just very basic things, right? And I feel, sometimes when people come into the workplace without this, there's a lot of critique that they get which they don't deserve. So I think as colleges, they should do that.
Thank you. Last, Amrita, quick. We have few seconds left.
I think it's already covered. I would say that industry speakers, bridging the gap by getting more and more industry speakers who can share real life knowledge, and they can also conduct sessions for the faculty.
Okay. Harsha?
Yeah, I think colleges, they have a responsibility to provide a real good platform for the students to build something real, not just learn something from the textbooks or learn by themselves, however small it is. So they have to solve real life problems, bring in industry use cases, and solve early on, so that they will feel like creators more than learners.
Thank you. I've been pushed by a few people to, wrap it up. Otherwise, this was very engaging. I think it was one of the best what we did. Thank you for the insights that you got. We would love to extend these discussions, and the community is to, bring together great minds from India, outside India, put a platform. This is the first leg. Next leg probably will bring people from different countries and probably see the problems from different lenses. So thanks for taking our time. Thank you for all the attendees to joining us. We look forward for co-creating those freshers journey with you and create a transforming impact in the industry. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,